Don't miss out on SpaceX Starlink's IPO. I'm not. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of fireside. That smokiness, kind of like sitting around a campfire. So good, so good. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, hanging out, talking tech, talking photo, talking video. Today is a technology day. We're going to be talking about SpaceX Starlink and the possibility of an IPO sooner than later. Possibly very soon, according to what some experts are saying. And I want to get into that a little bit with you today. Some people have been talking to me about this possibility of an IPO, and I've been going back and forth with them. Personally, if they would have IPO'd back in 2019, 2020, I would have jumped on board. I mean, I came on board with SpaceX Starlink from almost the beginning, just as they were coming out of the beta times. But I saw the power of this thing. And if you go back in my videos, I've told you about this from the very beginning, that I thought this was going to be bigger than most things that you have seen in the past, probably as big as something like Apple. And I know that sounded really weird at the time, like it's just an ISP, it's just an internet service provider. What makes it so big? The difference is how many people are being affected by it, almost like Apple, like the iPhone. Elon Musk is affecting, as of today, over 2 billion people. And when I say affecting, those are people that actually have the service. But the actual amount of people that are really being affected is a lot more than that. Just look at the wars, right? So Elon Musk is doing something that is absolutely amazing, and he has been bridging that digital divide. These ISPs have been getting a lot of money from the government and have said that they are going to bridge this digital divide and get the have-nots to have high-speed internet access with all of that funding. And they have never done it. And I said from the very beginning when I started using SpaceX Starlink, wow, this guy Elon is actually getting the high-speed internet into the rural areas. Normally they just talk about it and they never do it, but he's actually doing it. And I saw it just with myself. And that's why I've been kind of like a proponent of Starlink. And that's why a lot of you are also watching this channel, because you see the value in it. So I'm going to read to you a couple of articles that talk about this IPO, talk about funds, like how much are they making? Are they in the red? Are they in the black? I think that this is very important. And you must understand that if there was a SpaceX Starlink IPO as of today, I personally would be on board immediately, just so you know where I'm coming from with this. Anyways, let's jump right into this article. It starts out by saying SpaceX's Starlink has, quote, achieved break-even cash flow. CEO Elon Musk said Thursday, a milestone achievement for the rocket company's 4-year-old satellite internet business. In 4 years, break-even cash flow. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. He announced the news in a post on X, or formerly known as Twitter, the social media platform. He said this, quote, exciting to announce that SpaceX Starlink has achieved break-even cash flow. Excellent work by a great team. Starlink is also now a majority of all active satellites and will have launched a majority of all satellites cumulatively from Earth by next year. Basically, the majority of all satellites that you see in orbit, that is in LEO, MEO, and GEO, are SpaceX Starlink satellites, the majority. So you can see how in just a few years, how amazing this is, how many rockets have launched, how many satellites have been put into LEO or low Earth orbit, and how many satellites are operational. I think it's around 5,000 now. And out of those 5,000s, we see about 600 to 700 of those already the higher speed or the version 2 minis. So this is massive for SpaceX Starlink. The article continues, the achievement leaves open the question of whether SpaceX may be nearing taking Starlink public via IPO, a move that Musk once said the company would execute once cash flow became predictable. Predictable, that is the key. SpaceX President and Chief Operating Officer Gwen Shotwell gave a hint that the economics were becoming more predictable earlier this year when she said that Starlink had already achieved a cash flow positive quarter in 2022. SpaceX's valuation has soared to about $150 billion, with Starlink seen as a key economic driver of the company's goals. 2 years ago, Musk emphasized that making Starlink quote, financially viable required crossing through a deep chasm of negative cash flow. Musk has discussed spinning off Starlink to take it public through an initial public offering once the business was, quote, in a smooth sailing situation. However, the timing of a Starlink IPO remains uncertain. Last year, Musk told employees that taking the business public wasn't likely until 2025 or later. Quote, being public is definitely an invitation to pain, Musk told SpaceX employees in 2022, and the stock price is just distracting. Keep those quotes in mind. Very, very important here. SpaceX began offering Starlink service about 3 years ago and currently has around 5,000 satellites in its mega constellation, initially targeting the consumer market. Most recently, SpaceX has said Starlink has upwards of 2 million subscribers, having expanded into other markets, including national security, enterprise, mobility, maritime, aviation, and has grown at a pace that far exceeds its competitors. This is 100% the facts. More recently, Starlink made the news in its role in international conflict, including the war in Ukraine and more recently the war between Israel and Hamas. SpaceX recently established a defense-focused version of Starlink called Starshield. Now, we talked about Starshield in the past on a bunch of videos. Go back and check those out. Starshield is the arm of the government. Anyways, it continues by saying, a sign that the Pentagon's interest, or the DoD, the Department of Defense, in procuring satellite internet capabilities. Very important for national security. They see it. SpaceX is valued at around $150 billion. The company posted revenues last year of $1.4 billion, according to the Wall Street Journal reports in September. And last month, SpaceX announced the opening of a new satellite antenna manufacturing facility in Bastrop, Texas, which is near Austin. Now, I've been talking about this new facility coming and also the new routers, the new kits coming soon. I told you in the past that if you have a version 1, a generation 1, you can purchase a generation 3 to now upgrade your generation 1. But if you have a generation 2, you cannot purchase a generation 3 because they're not compatible. I said you must wait for a generation 4. Well, I was listening to an interview over the weekend, and I don't know if Elon Musk kind of slipped up, but he was talking about this new facility in Texas, and he was saying that they were making the version 3 antennas there, the mini antennas and the more, let's call them maxis, the larger corporate antennas, the business class antennas. But he also said that they were making the generation 4, the version 4 there. I never heard that before. Now, I've been saying that this is going to happen, and I predicted that we will have a generation 4, which would upgrade all of our generation 2s before the end of the year, but I didn't know if that was the case at all. Now, did he just slip up here? Are they actually now in production of generation 4 in Texas? I don't know, but I think they are. So probably, as I said last month, I think we're going to see a Generation 4 Starlink router antenna, the whole 9 yards, coming soon, most likely before the end of 2023. That's my prediction. Now, there is a good amount of information here that is saying that there is a possibility of an IPO coming soon. Obviously, they are making money. 1.4 billion is nothing to sneeze at. That's really sweet. The valuation of the company has just skyrocketed to about 150 billion, which is nuts. So I would have to speculate that if they went live today and there was an IPO that came out today, we would see a price of maybe $90 to $150 per share. That's what I would guesstimate. Now, of course, it could be more like 100 to like 500, but I would say probably between 90 to 150 is what I would guesstimate. So would I purchase it? Like I said at the very beginning, the answer to that is 100% yes, I would. And the reason being is I see the value in it. Now, my take on an IPO is simply this. Remember, there was those two quotes that I said to take heed of that I think are very important. And one of them was, being public is definitely an invitation to pain. And the other one was, and the stock price is just distracting. He was alluding to the problems of taking the company like Starlink public. Now, I don't think that the stock price being distracting is as much of an issue as his quote saying, definitely an invitation to pain. Now, to me, what that means is that once you have a board of directors and you no longer have full control over the company, it could become problematic very quickly. And all of a sudden you can take something that's doing really well and give it to people that don't know absolute shit. And even though you have hired them to be on this board of directors, they are not as wise as you are. And now all of a sudden the company starts faltering. I do believe that Elon Musk is not a power-hungry individual, but someone that likes to do things himself. And I think going public will be a means of taking him out of the loop and him not being able to do everything that he wants to do with SpaceX Starlink moving forward. And I don't think that he wants to relinquish that power. So I would say that we will not see an IPO in 2024. That's my personal opinion, because I think he really wants to massage this thing a little bit more before he hands it over, right? And starts something new. And possibly we may never see an IPO. I know that sounds just absolutely bizarre, but just being how he is and researching him and listening to so many interviews with him and kind of getting an understanding of who he is, I just feel that it is a strong possibility that Elon Musk will not want to take Starlink public at all. Now, could he make an absolute killing? Absolutely. He would make just an ass load of money. And that money could go directly to the moon and Mars, literally. But I just don't know if he would be willing to relinquish that power for money. He has been known in the past to just not look at money like everyone else does. He doesn't care about it as much. It is more of a means to an end.
You know, do your tweets hurt the company? Are there Tesla owners who say, I don't agree with his political position because, and I know it because he shares so much of it? Or are there advertisers on Twitter that Linda Yaccarino will come and say, you got to stop, man. Or, you know, I can't get these ads because of some of the things you tweet.
You know, I'm reminded of the scene in The Princess Bride. Great movie.
Great movie.
Where he confronts the person who killed his father. And he says, offer me money. Offer me power.
You killed my father! Prepare to die! Now! Offer me money. Yes. Power too. Promise me that. All that I have and more. Please. Offer me everything I ask for. Anything you want.
I don't care.
So you just don't care. You want to share what you have to say.
I'll say what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
Unlike a lot of other billionaires that have to just flaunt their money all the time, he doesn't. He sold all of his mansions and now he's living in a little box. So that's why I'm saying I don't know if an IPO is in the cards, because he's just not as interested in money as most. But the moon and Mars is very important to him. And I think that if there was a time when the companies weren't able to make enough money to get him to Mars, I think at that point, he would probably IPO Starlink to get a ton of cash flow in so that he can fulfill his dream, let's just say. Now, that's my personal opinion. I don't know the guy. I don't, have an inside scoop, but that's just my personal opinion. Remember, they have launched over 5,000 now, orbiting satellites in LEO that have constructed this mega constellation, which to me is unbelievable, far surpassing anything that any other government or private entity has done in just a short period of time. So, being that they're in the black and only starting in 2019 is amazing, right? I think that most of you would agree. So my question is this: if an IPO was to come out as of today, right, for let's say $100, let's just call it $100, would you be all in or would you not? You know my answer. I would be 100% all in because I see the value and I see the future of SpaceX Starlink, and I have for the last 24 months. You can go back to the 200 videos. I'll put a link over here. So check those out. I have a lot of good, helpful tips and tricks and how-tos and all kinds of other stuff in this video, this Starlink playlist I've put together. This channel has always been about tech, photo, and video. And recently it's been a lot about Starlink because it has been such an amazing, absolutely an amazing entity. It has done a lot for a magnitude, a plethora of people, not just in the US, but throughout the entire globe. Now, there's going to be a lot of naysayers that really do not like Elon Musk, and in the comments, we can feel that. They will enter a comment with a preconceived notion that Elon Musk is just a horrible person, and that's just it. They won't look at all of the factors that are involved, and there's a lot of people like that. And I encourage everyone that hangs out with me on this channel to be as unbiased as I am. And if something is just negative, call it negative. Just say it. If something is positive, just say it's positive and just be happy with it. The problem is today is people just don't do that. They don't actually say what's on their mind. They have to constantly walk things back to mitigate things. If stuff is really, just say that it is. It's okay. It's not a big deal. And if you do not believe in what he's doing, in the comments, say so. I don't have a problem with it. And you will notice that I have not deleted or hid or got rid of anyone in the comments, even if they say absolute trash to me or just come up with just incredible, just nastiness. I'm okay with it because I think everyone should have their own opinion and voice it. When we do not have a voice is when there's a problem. When everyone can voice their opinion, that's when you get a really good back and forth. Just like all of the greats, the great minds of the past. When there is a debate, their goal is not to win the debate. Their goal has always been to lose the debate. It sounds counterintuitive, right? No, it is not. The reason being is if they lose the debate, that means that they were proven wrong and now they can think of something a different way, but now correctly, instead of being stuck in the wrong way. So most of the great minds have always went into debates hoping that they're proved wrong. That's how we learn. Anyways, guys, down below, what do you think? Would you get involved in an IPO as of today? If so, why? If not, why not? I would love to hear from you. Anyways, if you enjoyed this content, even in the least, throw it a thumbs up. That'll be very helpful. Tell your friends, family, colleagues to visit this channel so we can grow it. We want to see 100,000 and more. Also, if you have not subscribed, consider doing so. If you are subscribed, click this little button over here. So when I go live or when a new video comes out, you'll be notified of it immediately. And when you do click that button, click all. So maybe you will actually get my videos when they go live, or when I go live, you'll be notified. And if you're looking for a VPN, look no further. Check out Pure VPN. The nice folks over there gave us a promo code, which is JCristina. Or you can use the link, JCristina.com/VPN. Once again, JCristina.com/VPN, and get 15 additional % off at checkout. Also, if you haven't downloaded any of my ebooks, check them out. They are free. Go to JCristina.com/books. Once again, JCristina.com/books. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com. You'll find all of the photography tools I've invented for you and me over the many years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for another vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you all.